Jurgen, what a statement this was from Inter Milan.
It was really a statement from Inter Milan. I think it was a well-deserved 2-0 win. Outstanding individual performances. I think, Barella had an outstanding game. Bastoni as a left center back. Also Hakimi. But for me personally, I have to say, we talked about Arturo Vidal before the game. And it was his game. It was his game. Not only because he scored the first goal, because he really maintained throughout the entire course of the match his discipline. He was focused. He was all over the place. He helped his team. All over was an enormous positive team performance by Inter, and that goes to the credit of Antonio Conte. I mean, the way he set them up for the game and throughout the entire game was outstanding, and that should give Inter a lot of confidence. It should give them a big boost. They have the momentum now against AC Milan. They're on the top of the league. And so it made a lot of Interistas really happy around the world.
Yeah, a lot to like from Inter today, Gab.
No question about it. Jurgen, I think, highlighted the individuals. I'd highlight two. I'd add one guy who often gets overlooked, and that is the Braz, Marcelo Brozovic, in the middle of the park. Juventus, I think, lost this game in midfield. And Brozovic was a big part of it. The way he queued up those transitions, the way he calmed Inter down when they did have possession. This was really big for him.
After seeing this sort of performance from Inter, Jurgen, would you say they're favourites to win the title?
For me, they're favourites. I mean, obviously, we discussed that. They are not in the Champions League anymore in European Cup competition, so that frees up a lot of space in their schedule. So it keeps them always energetic in the Serie A. And if you look at the roster, if you look just at the fact who they brought on then as substitutes, they have the deepest roster in Serie A at the moment. They have now the momentum. Beating Juventus today is a vital moment in their season. So I think they are deserving their favourites to win the Scudetto.
Gav, if you're Juventus, how much can you point to the fact that there was no Cuadrado, no Alexandro, no De Ligt, no Dybala? How much of an excuse can you use that you had some big players missing from this tie as to the performance?
I think it certainly plays a part in it. And, and I think if you're Juventus, you also point to the fact that, if at the very end, and this is ultimately part of Juventus's DNA, if you like, they get destroyed, they could be 4, 5, 6-0 down. And yet, when it comes down to the very end, if Handanovic doesn't make that super save off of Federico Chiesa, all of a sudden it's 2-1. And, it's Sir Alex Ferguson might say squeaky bum time at the end for Inter. So that's still there. That's something to build on. Those are big absences.
What do you mean there's something to build on? They were 2-0 down, luckily. That's not. If you're going to put a positive on this for Juventus, you really are clutching at straws, aren't you? That Handanovic's save late on, if it wasn't for that, it could have been 2-1. Lautaro Martinez could have a hat-trick in this match.
Like I said, they could have been a lot further down, but they weren't. And this is part of Juve's history, the 9 titles that they won. They didn't win those titles by playing well all the time. They often found ways at the end to win, even when they were thoroughly outplayed, much of the frustration of other teams in Italy. A little bit of that is still there because they have the outstanding individuals. The absentees, I think, impact you, but the single biggest problem for Juve remains in that area of the pitch where they didn't have any major absentees, and that's in the middle of the park. Whatever combination of Bentancur, Archer, McKennie, Ramsey, Rabiot, whatever you put out there, isn't going to bail you out, isn't going to impose themselves on the opposition. Juve have played well this season when they've made it a series of one-on-one battles, which they've won, allowing them to supply Morata and Cristiano Ronaldo. That's the only way they've won. They need to, until they fix that midfield, this Juve team, the way Pirlo wants them to play, isn't going to work properly. They may get results because they have great players, but that's about it. And I think that is the most disconcerting part. And then maybe that'll be an alarm bell.
What's the big problem? Jurgen, that it's going to be very difficult for Pirlo to fix between now and the end of the season if they're going to retain their title.
It's going to be very difficult because now it's already 7 points they're behind. But I totally agree with Gab. They have no kind of piece in the center park where, he kind of really, can switch the game around in a split second with a decisive pass, with a one-on-one situation, scoring a goal. They don't. I mean, Dybala is not a number 10 really. He's also kind of coming from the wing, going inside. So it's more a forward than a midfielder. So there's no number 10 really to take matters in his own hands and create something surprisingly. So that will be a little bit of a problem. I don't think they find something on the market in January now still. There's not much opportunity out there in the global market. So it's gonna be a tough couple of months ahead of Andrea Pirlo.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.